Hey, this is Pat, and today we are checking out the all-new Sedici Vento 2 gloves. Now, the Vento 2s, obviously as the name implies, replacing the original Ventos within Sedici's line, and this falls in their chicane and Mugello glove line. This is going to be modeled off those gloves, but gives you a little bit less leather up at the cuff and a little bit more ventilation throughout. I'm actually a fan of these Vento 2s for anybody out there that's riding on the street, commuting, or just wants a little bit more of a sport bike glove, but wants that airflow and like more of a comfortable fit than a full leather glove can really offer. You are sacrificing a little bit of protection when you're using less leather, but I do like the overall comfort. If it's something that you're distracted by how uncomfortable your gloves are, you're not actually riding safer no matter how much you're protected. I dig these Ventos, especially up here at the cuff. So if you're looking for a short cuff glove for summer riding, I don't think you can go too much farther than the Ventos without checking them out. They come in at $60, which doesn't change from the last models. They are available in men's and women's options. Men's sizing ranges from small up to 3 extra large, and women's comes in for the extra small and 2 extra large sizing. And there's going to be about 2 or 3 colors depending on which one you're looking at through the line. But let's talk about fit. I measure my hand just about 8.75 inches in the circumference, and I'm fitting in a size large, and it is extremely comfortable right out of the bag. A lot of the leather you see will break in over time. About 10 to 20% is what I say, depending on how much you're really wrenching on it. But the stretch and the mesh throughout isn't going to break in. So the fact that it's really comfortable right out of the bag, I really like. I think that's a solid update and a solid feature when it comes to the overall sizing. But let's talk about some of the features here. I mentioned the main construction. It is going to be goat leather and perforated goat leather throughout the main glove, but up here at the cuff, it is a 3D mesh stretch up here at the gauntlet. Now, this used to be a much more open cell and open mesh at the back. I wasn't a big fan of it. It's something that catches on Velcro, especially on your cuffs. I really think this update here is much more comfortable. It's much more stretchy, and it's going to flow a ton of more air than that previous model there. It's still a single Velcro mid-cuff design. It's covered in suede over the back, and it's nice and Velcro in there. They do have this flap from the leather that's supposed to protect this Velcro strap onto there. I could have done without that. It's a little bit slid over to the side that it's not going to be doing much protecting, but you can see little pops of elastic run around the entire wrist just to keep it nice and tight, and that it has a little bit of give if you are in that riding position and need to move it around. You can secure the Velcro while still having a little bit of give around the edges. It is a floating knuckle design. What I mean by that is you can see the actual knuckle is not attached at the back of the hand. It allows a little bit of movement when I go to grab the controls or go ahead and full grip the controls on the handlebars. You get that movement back there. It's a nice little relief. There is foam underneath there. There is a little bit of foam underneath of this right here. It keeps a little bit of it protected, but it makes it really comfortable for all day riding, which I dig. Dual density, dual TPU knuckle replaces the older versions on here with air inlets to allow a little bit more airflow, but I think most of the airflow is going to be coming with this stretch mesh, as well as that goat leather at the back of the hand that is perforated. It is double reinforced stitching around that knuckle to make sure it stays in place. And one cool update I like is that they added accordion stretch at the back of the fingers. Really helps grab the controls, makes it a little bit easier. But one of the things that's most notable, I think, at the hand is in the fourchettes, or the center of the fingers. It's a nice stretch material, so you have leather reinforcements and the perforated leather throughout, but you get a nice stretch material right there. That's gonna flow a ton of air, but just really adds to the comfortability in that riding position. It's a nice soft material that's not gonna bunch up. You do have a 3rd and 4th finger bridge over here to protect the little finger. The idea there, for those of you that aren't aware, is if you go down, your pinky has a tendency to grab onto the ground and pull back. It's a very prone incident for riders, especially for racers that are going and low siding at the track all the time. So by adding this 3rd and 4th finger bridge, it reinforces that little finger with the ring finger here. So it's nice and connected, so it's not going to go ahead and grab. You have that dual reinforcement, and then that runs into extra reinforcement running down the outer seam. That's a high prone area for a crash. You're going to end up putting your hand on the outside. It's either there or at the palm side slider. So I like that they reinforced that, took those seams out of the equation by protecting it in that extra layer of leather. Coming out to the palm side, a lot more perforation than we've seen from the rest of the Sedici line at the palm, and you have touch tech at the index and the thumb, so you don't have to take your gloves off if you're pinching and zooming on your phone, if you're using GPS, or if you have a new TFT dash or something like that, you don't have to take the gloves off in order to operate it. At the crook of the thumb and across the palm, you have a reinforced silicone gripper. That's going to be nice for grabbing onto the grips and the handlebars of the bike. Make sure that your gloves aren't moving. And then you have a huge panel of double layer of leather with a TPU slider at the palm. For those of you not aware, if you you go down in an accident, you're most likely to put your hands out to protect yourself. It's just what we naturally do as humans, as instinct. This is going to help stop that and help it slide away, because if your weight catches and the glove stands still, it's going to be something that can snap your wrist. So we tend to look for TPU sliders. So I like that Sedici's add that in with a pop of foam, and again, reinforcing it with double stitching throughout, as well as that extra layer of leather just really helps reinforce it. But for 60 bucks, adding that dual density knuckle, having that full leather main construction, especially on the palm, TPU slider, and all the third and fourth finger bridge, as well as the perforation, I think these Vento 2 gloves are well worth that $60 price point. I love that Sedici didn't change the price. They gave you a lot of the same features that the Chicane and the Magello got. If you want to look at something with more leather or a full gauntlet style, take a look at the Chicane or take a look at the Magello. Those are going to suit you fine, but for anybody looking on those hot weather days for a short cuff glove, I think this might be one I think you should check out for a solid option for 2025. But if you have any other questions, or if you want to see what other riders have to say, click that info button. That's going to take you over to the product page where you can read those rider reviews, see what other people are experiencing with these all new gloves. And if you have any questions about fit, feel free, reach out to our customer service agents. They're all riders, happy to help you get set up for your next ride. I want to thank you for joining me and checking out the all new Sedici Vento 2 gloves. I'm Pat. I'll see you in the next video.